What is good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with the overall market, what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, what the economic data is saying about the markets, what the news is saying about Tesla, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I begin the devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo with the link down below and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very, very soon. Anyways, for Tesla, we have this tight resistance right here at 177.6, very close to this zone. And right now, Tesla's struggling to break through this. So if the market does retrace a bit, we could see Tesla come back down. But the overall structure is still bullish on Tesla, even if we do get a little retracement. We're still on a very, very nice uptrend, and Tesla could still bounce later on. It's still possible for Tesla to run past 180 or so later on, especially going into next week. But for now, we want to be watching some key levels on SPY and Tesla. So I'll be breaking down the charts in just a couple of minutes. Let's talk about some data. We had initial jobless claims this morning. This helped the market pump a little bit as this was below expectations. But at 9:45 a.m., expect a big move as we have the PMI report coming out. That's 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 15 minutes after the market opens. You have the S&P Global Composite PMI, S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, and Global Services PMI all coming out. That's very important for those three sectors of the economy. So we'll see what ends up happening to them if we get any contraction or not. Then at 10 a.m. we have some new, existing home sales data coming out, which is very minor. And another piece of data at 11:30 a.m. is going to be the 4-week and 8-week bill auctions coming out. So watch those very, very carefully at 11:30 a.m. So the main times to be watched for volatility are 9:45 and 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see what they end up causing for the markets. A couple of things worth noting is that we have three records. We have the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P 500 hitting new all-time highs. We have the Federal Reserve coming out there being a little bit more dovish, which helped the market pump a bit more, and they're foreseeing about 3 cuts in 2024. Reddit priced in its IPO on Wednesday at $34 a share, which puts the value of the company at $6.5 billion. That's great news for them. Micron is another company benefiting from the AI boom. As they announced their earnings, they did relatively well on EPS and revenue, and their guidance was quite good, which is why the share price is up 16% for today. And finally, there's been a lot of criticism for ESPN because, once again, they tend to rely on cable subscription fees, which is not really as popular these days. So we'll have to see if any changes happen to their structure and how this will affect them. But that's what all we're seeing for now in the news. As far as earnings go, we have Nike and FedEx later on coming out for today. I might talk about those. Some news about Tesla is that it's very sad that Angela Chow passed away. By the way, I do have condolences for her and her family, sending them out to everyone out there that was involved in this. But she did pass away in a Tesla, but it turns out that she was intoxicated when she passed away, according to the reports right here from Texas authorities. So that is horrible news, of course, the fact that she passed away and such. But this shows that when she passed away in her Tesla, the media was screaming and blaming Tesla, saying Tesla's the reason why this happened, this and that. But it turns out that with her being intoxicated, that kind of changes everything. So that's something worth noting, that we can't solely just put all the blame on Tesla. I have to be honest with you. And the media was very biased in the beginning. Now they have to kind of accept reality. A union has failed to gain further footholds on Tesla's German Gigafactory. That's very, very important. That's the IG Metal Trade Union. It failed to increase its influence in Tesla's German Gigafactory outside of Berlin. That's what they talked about. And work councils are playing a very important role in Germany's firms representing interest of employees and such. So with that happening, I wouldn't necessarily kind of rule this out because they could try again, try other things. So I wouldn't necessarily rule it out just yet. But for now, they have failed to gain further foothold on Tesla, at least for the time being. There's also some news coming out about Tesla potentially making an entry into India. More talks about the new tax cuts that happened. This was kind of old news, though it came out a couple of days ago. But basically, this could open the doors for something much bigger for Tesla. It's not confirmed yet, but I would say so far there's been a lot of progress. So for Tesla, what's going on with the share price? Watch 177.6 to 178 as resistance. If we break past 178, we're going to be pushing all the way up to 180, then 182. But the thing is about Tesla, we're kind of rejecting off 177.6. We pumped so hard alongside the markets, and then we could actually cool off a little bit. So if we do end up turning back down, watch 175 as key support. I actually have the supports right here from 175, not to mention 172.5 below that to 172.8 around that support. So I'll be watching to see how well Tesla holds in these levels. But overall, guys, I still think Tesla's going to be on an uptrend. I think that there's still potential in Tesla to run a lot more into the future. It's just that during this leg up, right, this leg that we had up for Tesla, this may have to shift a little bit. So if we do redraw this kind of like this, uh, we have resistance right now. Tesla may cool off a bit. It could even break through this trend line, come down just a little bit, then come back up later on. So it is on an uptrend. I still think the chart looks bullish. But the thing about Tesla is it may cool off first before we continue higher. So the chart is showing a little weakness. So it may come down first. Of course, watch our retracement levels. We have our Fibonacci retracement levels in 175 and 173.75 as supports, followed by 172. Could retrace a bit and then come back up higher later on, but that's what I'm seeing for the chart for now. But watch resistance just to be safe. And then for SPY, SPY has resistance at 523.5. If we break through this, we're going to be watching for a push to 525, then 526. If we reject off this, we're going to be coming down to 522. If that fails us, there's a gap to fill at 521.8. And then eventually 520 is coming next as key support, followed by lower levels like 518. So watch resistance at 523.5. If we reject off this, we're going to be coming all the way down to 521.8 and eventually 520. If we break past this, 525 is coming. Whether we break or not could depend on the PMI report that's coming out 15 minutes after the market opens. So watch and see, do we reject off this and come back down, or do we break past this? I'm saying this in a very, very ambiguous way because it depends on the data, and we're at a new all-time high. So that's why it's a little bit tricky at these high levels. So watch resistance and see if we get this rejection or not. We're at resistance right now on SPY at 523.5. Reject, and I'm going to be anticipating 521.8 and eventually 520. Break past this, and then 525 is coming. As of right now, we're kind of shuffling at this resistance, so watch it very, very carefully. The QQQ, we're at resistance as well because we approached the all-time high. This is right here at 448.5. The last time we hit this, we got a huge rejection on the QQQ, so we're at the exact level right now. If the QQQ breaks past 448.5, and we keep pushing, we're going to be looking for a move all the way up to almost 450 if we manage to get a clean break above 448.5. If we reject instead, we're going to be looking for a move all the way down towards, in my opinion, right here, 447.25. If that fails us, we fill the gap all the way down to 446 and start sinking even lower for this next gap, 445. I think that the QQQ is going to be shuffling at 448.5. It's either going to break through this for one more push to about 415, then reject, or it rejects right here because this is where it rejected last time. So I'll be watching this very carefully. Look for look for the data at 9:45 a.m. The PMI report. Does this cause a rejection or not? This is going to be very, very key. So watch and see if you reject and come down, or do we break through this? That's going to be very, very pivotal for the share price. For Nvda, it's the same thing on Nvidia because Nvidia has this wick right here at 925. The last time we hit 925, we're very close to that level we rejected. We just reached about 924, almost 925. If you reject off here, we're going to be watching support at 920. If we lose that, a bigger drop could come all the way down towards 914, then eventually 908 and 900. If we break past 925, watch 930 to 930. The last time I checked, 930 to about 938 will be our next target if we break past 925. So watch that as a key resistance. If we break past 925, we're going to be pushing to the 930s. If we reject off that and we fail to break 925, we could come down to 908 again. So be careful on Nvidia. Whatever this does will affect the QQQ. As of right now, we're struggling to break this resistance. Last time we hit this, we got a rejection, so watch it very carefully, especially after the PMI data comes out at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have Aapl. If Aapl is bullish, okay, so I said in my video yesterday, Aapl may hit this 175 zone, then bounce. That's what happened. Now we're testing resistance at 177.5. Last time we hit this, we saw this rejection. So if we reject off 177.5 after the bearish news that came out involving Chinese sales, Aapl could sink all the way back down to the 175s, if not below that. If we break through 177.5 and start pushing higher, we could be looking for 178 as resistance. And if that breaks, 180 is going to be our next target. As of right now, we're kind of struggling at this 177.5 area, so just be careful. Last time we hit this, we kind of rejected. So we're going to be looking to see, can we try to break 177.5 or do we lose it and sink to 176.5? If that's the case, then we lose that. 175 is coming next. So watch these levels very carefully on Tesla, SPY, and all these other tickers. For Tesla, we're at some tight resistance, just like Apple and the other tickers, and we'll see if we get a rejection off 177 or not. If we do, it could retrace just a little bit with the market, then we'll see if we get a bounce or not. For a couple more, since I just have a few minutes left, the IWM is still on an uptrend trying to push higher. We reached 208, but now we're starting to reject here. There's a possible head and shoulders developing on it. So if we lose basically 205, there could be a move back down towards 203.5. If we hold above 206.5, we could bounce higher for 210, but watch it carefully. There's a possible head and shoulders on the 30 minutes time frame. For a few more tickers, we also have like Microsoft. We're at resistance at 430. If we reject, we come down. If we break past it, 435 is possible. Still looks kind of strong. Amazon reached 180, our target. If we break past this, we could be looking for 182. If it rejects, it's going to come down to 178. So watch that. And then for Meta, we're at 514, the resistance we called out yesterday. If we break this, we could push higher to 520. If we reject, we're going to be retracing to about 508, eventually 503. As of right now, nice trend on Meta, so we'll have to see how things go. Anyways, looking at the market, we have resistance on SPY to be watching for. Do we break past this resistance? We are forming a divergence on the pre-market time frame, so we'll see how things go. And for Tesla, we're at resistance, so we'll have to see how Tesla reacts to this 178 to 177.6 area. If we reject off this, we could see a retracement to 175 on Tesla, if not 172.8. And if we hold, if we continue to break through this, 180s are going to be our next target. As of right now, it looks like Tesla might reject and come down. The market is at resistance, so just be careful, see how things go. We'll see if Tesla breaks out or not. So do what you have to do, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, and peace out.